Hey everyone, and welcome back to The Honest Tale. Today I want to share a story that might just change the way you look at your own mind. Have you ever felt like your thoughts are just a jumbled mess, so loud and crowded that you can't find a moment of peace? Like your brain is constantly running a marathon, but you're stuck just watching? If you've ever wished for a mental reset button, then this tale is absolutely for you. Our story begins in a charming, quiet village nestled among green hills. In this village lived a young man named Arif. Now, Arif was everything you'd admire in a person: hardworking, honest, and kind. He put his heart into everything he did. But despite all his good qualities, Arif carried a heavy burden. His mind, you see, was never at rest. It was a constant battlefield of worries. He worried relentlessly about his future, fretting over what tomorrow might bring. He regretted things from his past, replaying old mistakes over and over. And, perhaps most painfully, he constantly compared himself to everyone else around him, feeling like he always fell short. No matter how much he achieved or how hard he worked, a deep sense of tiredness and unhappiness lingered. He just couldn't shake it off. He longed for true peace, but it felt like an impossible dream. One day, while tending to his crops, Arif overheard some villagers talking about a truly remarkable individual. They spoke of a wise old monk who lived in a small hermitage deep within the nearby forest. Legend said this monk possessed the secret to true, lasting happiness, not just fleeting joy, but a profound inner peace. Intrigued, and with a glimmer of hope sparking in his heart, Arif decided he had to meet this monk. He felt an urgent pull, believing this might be his only chance to escape the endless noise in his head. So, with a mix of anticipation and desperation, Arif set off on his journey. After a long walk through winding paths and ancient trees, he finally arrived at the monk's humble dwelling. There, he found the monk sitting perfectly still, his eyes gently closed, a serene and gentle smile gracing his lips. The very air around the monk seemed calm, almost humming with tranquility. Arif, feeling a little overwhelmed by the monk's peaceful aura, respectfully approached and bowed. He then poured out his heart, sharing all his troubles. Master, Arif began, his voice laced with exhaustion, my mind is always full. It never stops. I can't sleep soundly. I can't focus on my work, and I can't find any peace. Please, I beg you, help me find true serenity. The monk listened patiently, his eyes still closed, not interrupting Arif even once. When Arif finished, the monk slowly opened his eyes, their depth holding ancient wisdom. He simply smiled, a warm and understanding smile that instantly put Arif at ease. Without a word, the monk then reached for a simple, empty clay pot, the kind used for carrying water, and handed it to Arif. Go, the monk instructed softly. Fill this pot with water from the river. Puzzled but trusting, Arif took the pot and walked to the nearby river, carefully filling it to the very brim with clear, cool water. He then returned to the monk, holding the full pot with both hands. Next, the monk picked up a handful of small, smooth stones from the ground. Now, he said, offering them to Arif, put these stones into the pot. Arif, still wondering about the purpose of this unusual lesson, began to drop the stones into the pot. Plink, plonk. As each stone went in, water immediately spilled out, overflowing onto the ground. The more stones Arif added, the more water sloshed over the edges, leaving less and less water remaining inside the pot. Soon, the pot was almost empty of water, filled instead with stones. The monk watched all of this with that gentle smile, and when Arif was done, he finally spoke. Do you see, Arif? The monk said, his voice kind and calm. Your mind is very much like this pot when it is already full to the brim with thoughts, worries, regrets, comparisons. There is simply no space left. Nothing new can enter. If you truly wish to find peace, if you want happiness and calm to flow in, you must first learn to empty your mind. Arif stood there, the empty pot in his hands, staring at the scattered stones and the damp ground. He was puzzled, yet a profound realization was beginning to dawn on him. Empty my mind? He repeated, confusion in his voice. But, Master, how do I do that? How do I just empty my mind? The monk nodded gently. You empty your mind by letting go of the thoughts that do not serve you. Release the worries about a future that hasn't happened. Let go of the regrets about a past that cannot be changed. Stop dwelling on what others think of you, for their opinions are not yours to carry. Make space, Arif. Make space for calm, for joy, for presence, and for happiness to truly bloom. Arif sat there for a long time, contemplating the monk's words. The wisdom of it struck him deeply. He realized with a jolt that he had indeed been filling his mind every single day with a constant stream of worries, fears, negative thoughts, and endless comparisons. His mind was so full that there was no room for anything else, certainly not for peace or happiness. That very night, taking the monk's advice to heart, Arif made a conscious effort. Whenever a worry popped into his head, he imagined it as a wisp of smoke, and with a deep breath, he tried to let it float away. He focused on the silence, on the feeling of his blanket, on the rhythm of his own breathing, and for the first time in many, many years, Arif slept soundly, peacefully, completely undisturbed by the usual mental chatter. From that day forward, Arif dedicated himself to practicing the monk's lesson. It wasn't always easy, of course. Old habits die hard, and those negative thoughts would often try to creep back in. But whenever a worry, a regret, or a comparison tried to take root, he would consciously take a deep breath, acknowledge the thought, and then gently, deliberately let it go, much like the overflowing water from the pot. He started focusing intensely on the present moment, the vibrant green of the leaves, the cheerful sound of birdsong, the comforting warmth of the sun on his skin, the rich taste of his food. He started noticing the small, beautiful details around him that he had been too preoccupied to see before. Slowly, gradually, his mind began to feel lighter, clearer, like a freshly cleaned window. His heart, once heavy, became noticeably happier. The change in Arif was truly remarkable, and it didn't go unnoticed by the people of the village. He smiled more genuinely, his eyes held a newfound sparkle, and his work seemed to flow with effortless grace. He even started helping others more, offering a listening ear or a helping hand with a cheerful spirit. When people, amazed by his transformation, asked about his secret, Arif would simply share the profound lesson he learned from the wise monk. Empty your mind, he would say, his voice filled with gentle conviction, and you will truly find peace. Dear friends, brothers, sisters, life is undeniably full of its own challenges, isn't it? Our minds can so easily become crowded with endless to-do lists, what-ifs, and doubts. It's a natural tendency for us to fill our internal space. But remember the lesson of Arif and the pot. If we keep constantly filling our minds with unnecessary thoughts, with things that don't serve our highest good, with worries about things we cannot control, there simply won't be any space left for happiness to settle, no room for growth, no quiet corner for peace to flourish. So, I invite you right now to take a moment every single day, even just a few minutes, to consciously empty your mind. Take a deep breath. Let go of what you cannot control. Release the past. Stop worrying about the future for a moment and really, truly focus on the beautiful, vibrant present moment that is right here, right now. When you make that deliberate space inside yourself, you will be amazed at the new strength, the clarity, and the profound peace that you will discover. It's a gift you give yourself. If you found this story inspiring and it resonated with you, please do us a huge favor. Give this video a big thumbs up. Share it with someone who might need to hear this message. And of course, make sure you're subscribed to The Honest Tale so you don't miss any of our future stories of wisdom and inspiration. Thank you so much for watching. And always remember, true wisdom and true peace often begin when you dare to empty your mind. See you next time.